Hello. Today I'm going to be talking about the HTML element, the pre-format tag. And so the way that would look like is you have like, when you type it out, you'll have like a left wedgie and type out PRE, and then you'll have a right wedgie, and don't really know the proper keyboard terms for that. And that's your pre-tag. When programming with the HTML element pre-tag, one of the things I've noticed is it uses a different type of font. Okay, and so when I started looking at that and I went to find out why the font changes, I found out that, well, it has a special type font based upon the operating system of the computer, and they're usually different types of monospaced fonts depending on the operating system. But the another thing that I noticed was that it has it basically embeds a margin also within the pre-tag element, and you have to get rid of that margin in order to not have, let's say, an extra line space that you may not want between, let's say, one HTML element and another. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little bit about that and my solution to deal with it. Okay, and so let's go ahead and prepare to go look at what I'm going to show you. Okay, now right here we're talking about, as I mentioned earlier, the HTML pre-element tag, and if you can see here where my cursor's at right here. Alright, this is the code. Now this is what I threw in my database on my web server, okay, and which helps me keep track of my code and what I'm learning and what I'm doing and all. And but you know, coding is very hard actually. It's very, very hard. Okay, but you want your HTML element to be pre-formatted. Okay, so you might want to look at this code and look at my video at a later time so you can copy it, because I don't have my web server up for public access because I'm just learning and doing a lot of things right now. My goal one day is to be like Yahoo. Alright, but anyway, so you can notice this line right here that I'm doing this right with here. Okay, this here is probably one of the most important, thing, okay, when it comes to the pre-format tag and doing away with the margin and also getting your desired font. Because if you use the pre-format tag in a normal way, then what's going to happen is you're going to end up with a space that will occur between your pre-format tag and your upper element, which in this case would be this line right here. Alright, where you see I said note the HTML pre-tag uses monospace font. Okay, and here we change that for the desired font families. And also, so what would happen is between here and your actual pre-format tag right here, okay, you would end up with a space. And so here's the basic text within the element of pre-format. And the whole purpose of the pre-format tag is because if you didn't have that, then you would have to use, see this little thing right here called the break tag? You'll have to use break tags here, where I'm clicking, and here, and here, and here, within the pre-format tag. And so in order to avoid that, for coding, to make it a little easier, use the pre-format tag. But here's the thing: how do I get rid of that space that would occur? So that's what I'm going to show you next. Okay, so let me do this right here, and all right, now, okay, what I did is I went to W3 Schools. Now W3 Schools is really great. When you go to W3 Schools and you're writing in HTML, you can change things. So basically, you see, what I did is I have this same thing right here. All right, but here, what you see what I did here? All right, now this is what you call your HTML editor right here in the W3 Schools thing. All right, so you have your pre-format tag right here, and I have the margin of the font. Okay, now if you hit run right here, then the code that is in here in HTML will be run over here on this side right here. Okay, now let me show you something here. Now you see right here, if I do this, let me do this right here. Okay, if you look right here in this area here that I'm highlighting, this is how it looks on the output of the code that you just saw. Now you notice that there's no line breaks. Okay, and notice this text right here that I just highlighted. Okay, now in order to get the desired text, I had to create a special font family to get away from the default monospace font that the operating system would use on your computer that would render it to you from the HTML page from the web server. Okay, so I had to change. I had to make sure I can get the desired font here, and so that desired font is reflected right here. See, right, it says right here, font family. Well, anyway, you have different font families. You have Times New Roman, Lucinda, Console, Curry, New, and Serif. None of those are monospace fonts. I didn't want monospace fonts because it wouldn't render correctly. All right. And number two, I didn't want the extra space. Now I'm going to show you why this is so cool. Okay. Now remember this code right here, and you can come back and re-watch the video over and over and get the code. One day I'll start making my code in my database public, but I just, got too much I'm working on right now. All right. But anyway, so let's do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the font family. Okay. But I'm going to copy it so I can put it back for later. I'm copying it. Okay, now I'm taking it out. Okay, now see here, the preformat tag is right here. Okay, now I'm going to run the code and from this right here, so you'll see the output right here in this new window. All right. Now, here you have the code. All right. I think I messed up. 1 second. Okay. Let me go ahead and take this out. Oh, that's why. I see right here, I messed up. I took the little quotation mark out. Let's put it back. So, because what it did is, because there's error in the code, when you code, what happens is if there's an error anywhere in your code, then anything below that will not render because there's an error in the code. So let's do it again. Okay, see here? This is what I'm trying to show you right here. All right, see this text right here? See, that's monospace. But I don't want monospace. What I want is a different font family. So what I did is I've created a style element within the pre-element tag, and I want to show you what the pre-element tag looks like. But see, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the font families that are desired font families. Run the code again. Now watch this area right here. Okay, run it again. See there how it changes? Now I could have added a font size, but I didn't. Okay, but anyway, now let me show you what happens when I take this out. Okay, so let me redo this here. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take everything out. Okay, almost everything, that is. Come to the end here. Rerun it again. See there how it changes back to the monospace font? Well, see, I don't like that. And you may not like that too as a programmer in the future. So this is good code to keep. It's a good tip. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to use the original tag, HTML pre-element tag, without any style effect added to the tag itself. We call that a style. Okay, now let's take it out. Now all right, so we look over here where you see this, all this stuff areas here. Okay. Now when I took that out, I also took the thing concerning the formatting. Now what you're going to see is you're going to see a line up here between families and text in the pre-element. Okay. Now watch that. See how that happened? See this line right here? Okay. Well, anyway, that line right here is what I don't want. Okay, especially if you're writing something to a file. All right. So basically what I'm doing is I've just given you a tip on how to handle the HTML pre-element tag. And if you want to play with HTML, a great place is W3C, W3 Schools. All right, and they'll have this editor when you find it. You can go to it. All right, and so anyway, that is the thing to notice and to look at right here is how to change that. So this is the end of this video. This is a great tip on how to handle the HTML pre-element tag. And so I just want to say have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching my first programming video on a nice, neat little tip.